All right, good evening, everyone. Sorry for the technical hiccups. It has been a while since I last did live, so just give me a second. Let me double check and make sure everything is okay. I think you can see me live now. Okay, let me know in the chat section if you can hear me. Okay. All right, good evening, everyone. Sorry for the technical hiccups. Okay, so just want to check if everything is okay. Because this is the, can you hear me? This is a new version of OBS, so haven't used that for a while. Okay. All good, yeah? So tonight we are going to talk about property price prediction. So property price prediction is a pretty useful techniques that we teach in our Data Science 360 class. So what we want to use in property price prediction is, given a set of features, you want to know or you want to predict the price of your property in the next 3 to 5 years, or you want to use it to measure whether your current property has any room to grow in terms of pricing, or you are paying a good price. Or let's say if the developers want to extend or they want to build more properties, right? What is the right ways to do, and what are the types of houses that people are interested in, etc. And the methods that we are going to use here is what we call the awesome framework. So the first step is you need to obtain the data. You need to go and collect the data. And then the second stage is to clean up the data. The third stage is to explore the data. And then lastly, you want to build a model and then interpret the results. And the technique that we are going to use tonight is linear regression. So it's very straightforward. Now, in today's AI world, of course, everybody will be thinking like, oh, what? You are using some very basic models like this. But the goal is the classic, like this is the classic method, because is very easy to understand. You have a lot of data points. What we want to do is to find the equation of this red color line, and then from this red color line we can then measure and whether the data point is a good fit, the features that we selected, is it good and suitable, and also we can use it for our predictions. Okay, so the first step that we want to do is to collect data. Thank you, Pinghan, and also help me. So there's a URL here, delete.io/house prediction. So I'll paste it in the chat. You don't have to go there now. Yeah, you just you can go in anytime to fill out the form. After the live, I will share the workbook and then this Notion file, the template file, and also the data set with you. Okay, so first thing first, we need to obtain the data. So to get the data, we can go to this website called kaggle.com. Kaggle.com is a website where you can find live data sets, real world data. So for example, things like you can look at it here. Let's go to data set section. There are all sort of different things. There are trending data sets like airlines, fast food. Don't use the Titanic one, okay? I've said it many times already. Titanic data set is overused, okay? You can get some movies and TV shows data set, clothing, accessories, economics. So all sort of real data sets is there. So if you are using data sets, you want to build projects for your portfolio especially, right? So don't use those, I call it toy data set. Yeah, even the one that I've been using recently is the Taylor Swift one, okay? Everybody knows she's in town, but not our town. Okay, so I want to use the house price data set. So we can get this Boston house price data set. So search for Boston and then download it. This is a pretty old data set, so it's good for practicing. But if you want to use that for your, you see, even the last updated date is 7 years ago. Another classic one is the AMIS dataset. It's also pretty outdated lah. But this one, yeah, they are good in terms of practicing. So if you want to use it in your own projects, you can collect other data set. Now you can also, if you are in, depends on where you are at. If you are in Malaysia, also you can go to some of the government website. They also sell this data set lah, in a way. Yeah. Okay. Right. So just click download. Then I need to log into my Kaggle account. Okay, then I should have the data set by now. Okay, so this is the data set, Boston house price data set. And the description of the data set, I have put it here. So you can look at the numbers here. So CRM is the per capita crime rate, and then the ZN is the proportion of residential land zone, and then industry, proportion of non-retail business acres per town, Charles River dummy variable. So if 1, that means it tracks the bound river, it's 0 otherwise. And then this is the level of nitric oxide. And then RM is the average number of room. H is the proportion of all owners occupied unit prior to 1940. Okay, so you know this is pretty old data set. Weighted distance to 5 Boston employment centers, radial highway, tax, P ratio, this is related to the education, and then the median value. And there are plenty of other data sets there. So the one that I'm showing you here is just to so that you understand better. Okay. So what we want to do next is we need to go to the open this tool called Knime. So let me give you a quick walkthrough of what is this Knime about. Now usually if you receive my email or you saw my Facebook post or LinkedIn post, you know that I mentioned, right? A lot of people think that if you want to build data solutions, if you want to do data analytics, you need to know a bit of coding like Python. That is true to a certain extent, but nowadays there are many professional tools for us to use to draft or to craft our data analytics project without using coding. Okay, that means you can use some visual workflow to do that. Okay, so one of the most popular one is Knime. The other one is let me type the name. Yeah, one is Knime. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the chat section. And the other one is called Orange. So Orange and Knime, they are the two most popular no-code data science tools in the market. I would say the functionalities of Knime is a little bit more complete. It can also run Python code if you need to, and it can connect to OpenAI API as well. So that means if you want to use features like ChatGPT, GPT-4, you can do that too. Yeah. Okay. So you go to the second tab here, you see a section called Nodes. So you have a lot of nodes here. Every single projects or the workflow is built up by using nodes. So if you see some of the projects that I've done before, so they're all connected using different nodes, and this is your workflow. Yeah. And the first step we want to do is to read our data file. So I can call a CSV reader. Okay. And this is for us to read a CSV file, because the file that we have just downloaded just now is this CSV file. Now CSV file stands for comma separated value. Okay, CSV comma separated values. Oops. Okay, and then it's actually if you open it using a text editor, right? Let's say you open it in Visual Studio Code. It looks something like that. Yeah. So the first row is your row headers. Okay, the crime, the zone, the industry, type of industry, and then the rest is data. The reason why we call it comma separated values because they don't have any data type schema definition like what you see in SQL. Is purely just text, and each text or each column is represented or separated using comma. That's all. Okay, that's the characteristic. So the good thing about CSV file is a text file, so you can easily share with other people. Then the bad thing is, of course, is semi-structured or weak structure lah. Okay. All right. So you go to a CSV reader, click this thing, the cog wheel. Oops. Okay. And then locate the files that we have just downloaded. So I downloaded it on the desktop. And once you read it, you automatically detect the types of data. Now, most of the time when you are dealing with data, right, you need to understand there are two main types of data. The one with a decimal point and the one without a decimal point. These are the two main types of data. So the one with decimal point, we call it continuous number. The one without a decimal point, we call it integer, all right? Or we call it discrete numbers. So these are the two main types of number. Sometimes you will have a number that will have 0 and 1 only. For example, this one, the chess. And 0 and 1 means it's Boolean. Boolean means yes or no, true or false. 0 means no, and then 1 means yes or true. Okay, so after you load it, you just need to press apply and OK. So this is what we call a node. Right? Every icon here is called a node, and when we have set up everything properly, it will show a green color. If not, it will show a yellow color. It means that it's waiting for execution. If it shows a red color, that means something went wrong. Okay. So next, we can use it to draw a graph, or they call it plot. So we can say we want to view the data because we want to explore the data. We want to plot a scatter plot. When do you use a scatter plot? You use a scatter plot when you have two continuous number. That means your x is also a continuous number, your y is also a continuous number. And you see now, right now is yellow color because we have not done any setup. So we can just double click and then configure it. Here we can choose the columns that we want. So it's horizontal dimension versus the vertical dimension. So we can say I want to see crime rate versus the price. So the price is here, the median value. Okay. So you can see the higher the crime rate, the lower the value. The values is in 1,000. So if you see this house is 50, that means the house is 50,000. Yeah, and so it makes sense lah. Most of the areas, most of the properties is in the low crime area, and because it's Boston, right? And then the house price, it goes from very low to very high. And we can switch to another column. We can switch to say the age of the house. Okay, and we can switch to the zone. Okay. You can see nitric oxide. So you can see there's different correlations between the different columns or different values. This is for us to explore. And you see, this is what happened when we use some categorical variable. Because if we go back to our data just now, right, you will see that some of the data, they have decimal points, some of them they don't. Yeah. So if you forgot, you can always refer to this data set table. So index of accessibility to radial highways, and then full average number of rooms, proportion of owner occupied builds, etc. Okay. So I can choose another one. Let's say we want to choose the weighted distance to 5 Boston Employment Center. Okay, so we can change it. So we can choose distance, and then we can choose the value. Okay. All right. So this is the exploratory part. And then the next thing what we want to do is we want to build a model. So remember earlier on during the slide, right? I say we want to use this model called linear regression. Okay, linear regression. So we'll go and look for the linear regression learner. Okay, drag it here. So you can see it's pretty straightforward. Everything is just drag and drop. And this one, it has a red color. That means it's missing some of the things that we need. So if I click it, nothing will happen because we have not connected the wires to the port. So I need to bring the data set here. Okay. So one output can be connected to multiple inputs. And when you use it more, right, you know that different symbols represent different things. Like triangle is usually an output, and then square is usually the model. Yeah. So once you have done it, right, we can double click here or click on the cog wheel to configure it. Target is the value that you want to predict. So based on the definition, we want to predict the value of the house price. Okay, sorry. Okay, so the MEDV, the median value, is our target variable, our output. Then we can choose the what we want to use in the model. We can include everything, but that doesn't mean that we will have a model that's good. So we can choose only a few that we want to use. For example, we can choose rooms, and then the age. Okay, apply it and view it. And since this is a triangle, so we can view the result. And using a table view. Okay, so it gives you the result of the coefficient, okay, the standard error, t-value, and then the intercept as well. So I'm not going into the mathematical details of this one. The purpose of this live is to show you how straightforward is this tool, how easy to use. That's my core purpose, my main purpose. And if you want to know this, right, basically what it means is, if you recall the equation, y equals to mx plus c. So c is the intercept. So it basically adjusts the height of your line, so where you want to go. Okay, and the other coefficients is the number in front of your x, y, or in this case a1, a2, a3, b1, b2, b3. So these are the coefficients that affect the, I would say it can show the importance of the variable. So the number of room has a positive impact, and the age has a negative impact. All right, and this is the strength lah. Okay, so you just press OK and execute. And the next thing what we want to do is we want to use that to help us to predict our to predict the house price given the input, right? So here we can use predictor. So regression predictor. Okay, and again, it's very straightforward. you want to use this predictor, right? It will tell you that it requires two things. Number one is your regression model, which is the linear regression models from here. Number two is the data for prediction, what you want to predict. Okay, in order to create what we want to predict, we need to have something called a table creator, because here we want to manually input our data. So we go to table creator, right? So let me double check what are the columns that we use. We use RM and we use H. You need to follow the columns that you use here. It has to be exactly the same, because otherwise you wouldn't get the result. Makes sense, right? Okay, so we create two columns. One is RM. It should be integer. And then the other one is H. It should be double. Okay, so just double check. Oh, both are double. Okay. Both are double. And we look at the values. So RM is somewhere, usually the number of rooms is 5, 6, or 7. Okay, so just look at the definition again. Average number of rooms per dwelling. Alright, so about 5, 6, 7. So I will say 6. And then the H is the proportion of owner-occupied units built prior to 1940. So you will have all sort of different values here. I will set it to maybe 48. Okay, so we set 6 rooms, and the H is 48. Okay, we can have multiple rows if you want to. 5 rooms, and then the H is 32. Okay, then run it, and then we get another table view. You don't worry about the screenshot. Okay, I will send this whole thing to you later after the live session. Okay. So here is the result of the prediction. So 6 rooms, and then on average, and then 48 years. The prediction price is 21,000. This one is not the current price. This data set is a bit dated, right? And then 5 rooms, 32, and then 14,000. Okay, so you get the prediction done. So I'll put it here. So I'll explain this again to you. This is a tool called Knime. Knime is an open source data analytic tools, and you can use it to use visual components like what I've shown you here called nodes. We can use these nodes to build a data science workflow, and the workflow that I'm showing you tonight is one that I use it for our clients, and even if you see those in the Department of Statistics Malaysia, DOSM, right? We also use the same tool and a similar model like this. So you craft your workflow here, and you get your data first, and then after that, because this data is clean already, so I don't have to go through any special process to clean up, and we pass it to chart engine. We draw a plot first. You can draw scatter plot. You just type the keyword plot here. You get all sort of different plots. You get box plot. You got line plot. If you have a time series, you use line plot. And maybe next time I'll run a data visualization workshop just to teach you all how to choose the right visualization. And this triangle is usually an output. So every output you can be used multiple times. You can pump it to different components. Okay, so this one, we pump it to the linear regression learner. A learner is like a machine learning trainer. So it takes a data set as an input, and then it gives us an output of a linear regression model. And also it tells us what are the coefficients, your room, your age, and also your intercept. So following y equals to mx plus c. If you want to change the variables, you can always come back here to change it. Okay. Target is the value that you want to predict, and then these are your input features. So after this live, I will send you, you make sure you go to the website, delete.io/house prediction to download the, to put in your details so that the system will send you the files, the notion, and also the data set to you. Okay. And then after that, we want to see the results. We can use a table view here, or alternatively, we want to predict the house price using our own values. So we can create another table creator here, another table using a table creator, and then we pump the value to the regression predictor. So it takes a model and also here the manual input, and then finally it helps us to predict the values here. Okay. Okay, so that is a simple what do you call it? A simple linear regression model built using no-code tool called Knime. Okay, any questions? Sorry for the delay earlier on. Yeah, haven't used this for a while. Okay. All right. If you have any questions afterwards, you can still leave them in the comment section. Okay, I'll answer them. If not, you please go to the delete.io/house prediction. Okay, leave your details, and then we'll send you the Notion file, the slides, and then this template, and also the data set. And what I want you to be able to do today is, after this live session tomorrow, or maybe later on, it's still early, right? 9 o'clock, yeah. Later on, go to kaggle.com, download a data set and use it. So the technique that we use tonight, right, is called linear regression. So it's mainly used for forecasting. If you want to learn more about, like, let's say, predict the outcome of an event, like whether the credit card should be approved or not, or some other things like that, that technique is called classification. Okay, when I have time, next time I'll run another live session to teach you how to do that. And thank you very much. Have a good evening, and then see you next time.